Iran has officially responded to the U.S. Congress renewing sanctions on them. Reuters explains here, Iran ordered its scientists on Tuesday to start developing systems for nuclear-powered marine vessels in response to what it calls a U.S. violation of its landmark 2015 atomic deal with world powers. Nuclear experts said that President Hassan Rouhani's move, if carried out, would probably require Iran to enrich uranium to a fissile purity above the maximum level set in the nuclear deal to allay fears of Tehran building an atomic bomb. The White House said it was aware of Iran's order and noted that Rouhani had said any such work on the vessels would be done within the framework of Iran's commitments. Okay, so for those of you who don't understand the backstory of this, Congress recently voted to renew 1990s sanctions on Iran. We just did the deal last year. We just did the peace deal last year, the nuclear agreement. Under the nuclear agreement, they can't build a nuclear weapon. They can only enrich uranium for energy for their people, for their power grid, and for scientific research. So we cut off their path to a nuke. The International Atomic Energy Agency regularly goes in there and checks on it and regulates it and makes sure that they're carrying through. And all we do is give them back their own money, which we kidnapped. So it was a fantastic deal. I'm 100% in favor of the deal. I think it's one of the best things, if not the best thing that President Obama did. But of course, Congress had to fuck it up. And actually, Obama did fuck it up too, because they renewed the sanctions, and then they say, well, it's okay, it's just symbolic. Well, that might be even worse. So you're going to risk the deal, which they're abiding by. Every report says they're abiding by it. You're going to risk that for a symbolic fuck you. I mean, that's just so stupid. And Obama also signed that deal. You know that this is going to lead to a backlash, you fucking idiots. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You have a peace deal that they're abiding by, you're abiding by, and then these sanctions come up to be renewed, and instead of doing an act of goodwill and abiding by the deal, you violated the deal. You violated the deal. America violated the deal. Iran didn't violate it. America violated it. Because we said we're going to renew sanctions. Yeah, but you had two things to do. Give them back, slowly but surely release back their own money to them. That's one provision of the deal on our end of the bargain. The other end of the bargain is don't renew sanctions. You fucking renewed sanctions. God, it gets me so angry. For nothing, they're fucking ruining the deal. So in response to that, just like I told you would happen, now Iran says, how about we build some nuclear submarines? Now, Obama's still trying to hold on and be optimistic, and he's like, well, you know, they're going to build it within the parameters of the deal. Shh, pipe down, fuckface. You already did your damage by signing that. You didn't have to sign the renewed sanctions, but you did. So now you're hanging on for dear life, but now you're just being naive. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they're not going to violate the deal. With their nuclear submarines they want to build, I'm sure they're not violating the deal. Of course they're violating the deal. Every expert on this says in order to build one of those, they have to go past the enrichment levels that are allowed. So now the deal's dead and gone. It is. I mean, so Donald Trump is coming in next too, and he's been clear about it. He wants to get rid of the deal. And fucking John Bolton is going to be number 2 at the State Department. John Bolton wants war with Iran worse than anybody. He wanted it worse than Dick Cheney. That's why I say he's the worst neocon there is, the most hawkish neocon. He wants war with Iran today, John Bolton does. And he got Netanyahu, who we covered yesterday, who's pushing Trump. Forget about the Iran deal. Forget about that. Even though we just took $38 billion for our support for the deal, forget about all that. We're going to be against it now. And here, I have 5 different proposals for you that you could use instead of that Iran deal. And guess what? Those proposals are not going to lead to, it's not an actual deal that's mutually beneficial. It's a deal that says Israel and the U.S. get what we want and you get absolutely nothing, Iran. So, look, we're marching towards war. We're marching towards war because of all these different, a confluence of events here that it could have been nipped in the bud at any step of the way. But no, we got a weak, bitch-ass Democratic president who did the right thing up front. Okay, good, you got the deal. But then you undercut your own fucking deal by signing these sanctions. Because you're afraid of looking weak on Iran. Come out there and explain yourself. Why can't you say what I'm saying right now about the deal? Say we had 2 things to do. Give them back their own money and not renew sanctions. Congress renewed sanctions. They are violating the deal. And then it's just tit for tat in Iran. Now they're saying, okay, well, now we're going to build a nuclear submarine. You violated the deal. This is on you, so now we're reacting. And you morons, you undercut the moderates in Iran. Do you not get that? How stupid are you? Hassan Rouhani and Khatami. These are guys who did every fucking political move in the book to get this deal through. They had to find a way to handcuff the Grand Ayatollah and force him into allowing this deal. The Grand Ayatollah is a right-wing prick. He didn't want any of it. So they find a way to do that. And people were excited about this. And then give it enough time, and now the Grand Ayatollah is doing a fucking dance in the streets and doing a victory lap and saying, I told you couldn't trust the big bad Americans. I told you they're bad people. I told you they're the evil empire. I told you they would violate the deal. And that's exactly what fucking happened. So now you've emboldened the hardliners in Iran. They might win the next election. Hassan Rouhani's the president. President obviously doesn't have all the powers. But the Grand Ayatollah has most of the power. But Hassan Rouhani found a way through pulling the right strings and making all the right political moves behind the scenes to get this deal done. Now you undercut him. Now you've emboldened the hardliners. Now it looks like we're marching towards war. So well done to all you idiots out there. And by the way, they're going to try to spin this. Everybody in U.S. media is going to try to spin it. And everybody in the government is going to try to spin it. They're all going to say it was them. They violated the deal because they're building the submarine. They're not going to tell you that it was the U.S. who actually violated it by renewing the sanctions. They're going to act like that's not a violation of the deal. In fact, that's the argument they're making right now. I already heard it. It's not a violation of the deal. It's not a violation of the deal. Of course it's a violation of the deal. Yeah, but the sanctions were just symbolic and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but you're not supposed to bring back the sanctions, and you brought back the sanctions. So you did violate it. And again, your argument of it's just symbolic isn't convincing at all because it's a symbolic violation of the deal then, which is still a violation of the deal, which is even dumber because you didn't actually do anything substantive. You just said fuck you in the middle of the deal as breaking up all the goodwill that we had. So they're going to argue they didn't violate the deal. It was Iran that violated the deal. I'm letting you know right now that's bullshit. That's complete and utter bullshit. If the U.S. did not renew sanctions, they would not have announced that they were going to build this nuclear submarine, and the deal would still be intact. You got nobody to blame but yourself for this.